Hello there you guys, welcome to another of my live videos, and today I'm just going to be officially updating you on some more current latest news. So if you do consider drop your likes, and if you do consider subscribe to the channel as always. So potentially, the big target is, who should Manchester United, of course, sign this summer, of course, because potentially, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, of course, is emphasising his targets, and obviously now he's in discussions there with Ed Woodward, what players should come in, what players should stay, and what players, of course, should leave Manchester United in the summer. Reportedly, we're going to get around over £200 million spending spree, to spend this summer, of course, as well. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has expressed an interest in quite a few young upcoming talents as well. And potentially Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has identified the positions where he thinks Manchester United, of course, need to strengthen up. Obviously, we need a right back as priority, of course, is to get a right winger in. Of course, we need a couple of additions in midfield as well. And potentially we do need a centre back, and we do need someone that can go alongside Victor Lindelof, of course, as well, because you can see the deficiencies in the squad. And obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants to build a squad, build a team, worthy of Manchester United's history, of course, as well. Because most recently, we've been in a bad vein of form. Of course, we've lost 2 of our last 3 league games. Obviously, we've lost 4 of our last 5 games in all competitions, of course, as well. And as I potentially give you an update on earlier on, obviously, Manchester United are still looking to hire a director of football to come in and that, change the club structure and all that. And, there has been a few candidate names mentioned, as we all know. As I did update you, obviously, Paul Mitchell, has been mentioned in the press today as well. And he could be the right candidate, to come to Manchester United, could Paul Mitchell, because obviously he's born in Manchester as Paul Mitchell. But it did say that Manchester United, will face competition from Arsenal and Chelsea. So Man United, Arsenal and Chelsea are all chasing Paul Mitchell, of course, as well, because obviously we need a director of football to come in, because obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, needs backing, of course, this summer, of course, as well. So potentially Paul Mitchell, as we all know, he's the head of recruitment at RP Leipzig at the moment. I think he's been at RP Leipzig a couple of years now, as Paul Mitchell, of course. Obviously, he used to be head of recruitment. At Tottenham and Southampton, of course, and obviously, he worked alongside Pochettino at Southampton and Tottenham. Obviously, Paul Mitchell, was responsible for the signings at Tottenham of the likes of Dele Alli and, Toby Alderweireld and Kieran Trippier and all that as well. I think RP Leipzig are keen on getting Paul Mitchell a new deal, though, until 2025 with RP Leipzig, of course, as well. So I think Manchester United are interested in recommending him in, to come and fulfil the director's role at Manchester United, of course, as well. But it's also said that Arsenal have also been interested in, Chelsea have also been interested in Paul Mitchell, of course, as well. So the most essential thing is Manchester United have got to get a director of football to come in. But obviously, we've got to get the right players, in the summer, that have got the ability to elevate Manchester United in the next 2 to 3 years, of course. And maybe we should spend the money wisely this summer. Maybe we should be sensible with our recruitment, because obviously we shouldn't spend too much money on one player, as we have done in the current past. It needs quite a few players out there, as I did say, available for a reasonable figure, of course, as well. Manchester United didn't spend out in January. We didn't get as priority targets last summer as well. I know overall, Manchester United have invested a lot of money. We spent nearly £700 million, of course. Obviously, we've had different managers with different philosophies. We've seen players come in and we've seen players go and all that as well. And now Solskjaer is our 4th permanent manager, since Alex Ferguson retired, of course. So there's still lots of work to be done as well. But obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is expected to orchestrate a big summer clear out. Up to 6 players could leave Manchester United this summer. And I think he's keen on bringing at least 5 new additions in this summer, of course, as well as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So there's quite a few targets, that Manchester United are linked with, as we all know. So potentially, there's been a lot of talks about Sporting Lisbon's Bruno Fernandes, of course, as well. And it's also said that Manchester United have been interested in Bruno Fernandes, 24, as we all know. I think his central midfielder is Bruno Fernandes, of course, he's Portuguese. I think his release clause is around £90 million in his deal with Sporting Lisbon. Potentially, I think he's been at Sporting Lisbon a couple of years. Obviously, he had a lot of experience in playing in Italy, with Sampdoria and Udinese, of course, as well. But reportedly, Bruno Fernandes has reportedly got a release clause of around £90 million, reportedly as well. So I think Manchester United have expressed an interest in him as well. There's also been still a lot of talks, going on about João Felix as well. He plays for Benfica, of course. He's a winger. He's 19 years of age. Is João Felix. He's also Portuguese as well. I think he's got a buyout clause of around £100 million, I think, João Felix. He only broke into the Benfica first team last year, but reportedly he's growing and developing, and reportedly since he's broken into the first team, his performances have been very, very impressive indeed. And back in January, João Felix, expressed an interest, from quite a few teams. I think Liverpool had a £61 million bid turned down for João Felix, back in January as well. And I don't think he's yet made his senior debut for Portugal, João Felix. He's only 19 years of age, but I think he's versatile as well. He can. I think he's mainly a winner, but he can play in other positions as well. And he's only 19 years of age, so potentially he's got a lot of years ahead of him. So I think quite a few Man United fans have urged Manchester United to go in for João Felix in the summer as well. He's a Benfica player, of course, but he's been in really, really good form for Benfica. So Bruno Fernandes and João Felix are also Manchester United targets, of course, as well. And potentially, defensively, we do know that there's been a lot of rumours, going on about Toby Alderweireld, of course, as well. And, we do know that Toby Alderweireld is going to be available for £25 million this summer. We do know there's better options out there than Toby Alderweireld, but obviously, they're going to cost us, quite a bit more money. Toby Alderweireld, of course, we're linked to Manchester United this last summer. Obviously, Manchester United couldn't come to an agreement, to get Toby Alderweireld last summer. But obviously, Tottenham back in the January transfer window, as we all know, activated a 12-month extension, and of course included a 25 million release cost. So we do know that he's going to be available for a reasonable figure in the summer. It did say that Manchester United are interested in triggering Toby Alderweireld's 25 million release clause this summer. So possibly Toby Alderweireld, could be one of our first signings this summer. He can play. I think he's mainly centre back, but he can also operate as a right back as well. I've got strong reservations about Alderweireld now. To be quite honest, because he's just turned 30 years of age, of course. I think he's lost that yard of pace a little bit. He's Premier League proven as Alderweireld. He's been at Tottenham a number of years now, as we all know. I think he's made over 150 appearances for Tottenham as Alderweireld, of course. But yeah, Manchester United are linked to him. And I think from his own perspective, Alderweireld, I think he's keen on making the move to Manchester United this summer. And Tottenham have still got other options at the back, of course. If he's to go, they've got Davinson Sanchez and Jan Vertonghen, that can combine together. But I think Toby Alderweireld wants to leave Tottenham because he refused to sign a contract renewal with Tottenham, of course, as well. So there has been a lot of talks going on about that. Manchester United want to trigger Toby Alderweireld's 25 million release clause, of course, this summer as well. And rumours are now coming out about Koulibaly as well. I want to give you an update. And I think, Napoli, would demand that they want around £98 million for Koulibaly. I think Koulibaly will cost Manchester United at least around in the region of around 90 million or £100 million or something like that as well. And we do know that Manchester United, of course, have been long admirers of the Senegal international, of course. He's grown, developed and flourished fantastically well. He's been in Italy a number of years with Napoli. Recent reports did say in Arsenal's game on Thursday, of course, against Napoli, reportedly, I think Koulibaly was subjected, to more racial abuse. He actually suffered racial abuse, last year, back in December as well, did Koulibaly. But we do know that Manchester United have been long admirers, of course. Obviously, reports came out the other week saying that allegedly he'd currently switched agents with Koulibaly. Now, allegedly, it did say that his current brother is representing him, of course. We know recently he signed a new deal with Napoli until 2023, of course, as well. But he's nearly 28 years of age now. I think he's still 27, but he's nearly 28. He's still got quite a few years ahead of him, of course, and it would be good for him, to come and experience the Premier League, Koulibaly. And that's the type of players, we should be targeting, players of that calibre. I think he's got the ability to elevate Manchester United at least in the next couple of years as well. But he's good in the air. He shows that ability to play out from the back, of course. He's aggressive in his play. So yeah, I really, really do like Koulibaly. And obviously back in January, Manchester United held negotiations. Manchester United had 3 bids, turned down for Koulibaly, of course, as well. So we need someone that can come in and address our defensive deficiencies, and we need someone that can partner alongside Victor Lindelof, of course, as well. And Koulibaly, would be the right candidate indeed. There's also been a lot of talks, going on about Rafael Varane as well. And I don't see Real Madrid, sanctioning Rafael Varane off this summer, to be quite honest with you. I think Real Madrid are demanding that his release clause should be triggered if Real Madrid, of course, are willing to do any business, for Rafael Varane, because he's got a huge release clause in his current deal with Real Madrid. I think his release clause is around £429 million, is is it? Or something like that as well. And Rafael Varane, of course, you know, he's a really, really good player. He reads the game very, very well. His defensive capabilities are very, very good. He's very good in the air. He shows that ability to play out from the back. And he's only 25 years of age, of course, and it's quite remarkable what he's achieved as a 25-year-old. Obviously, he spent the majority of his career with Real Madrid as Rafael Varane. This is now his 8th season with Real Madrid. I think he's made about 270 appearances in all competitions with Real Madrid as Rafael Varane. I think he's won about 15, 16 major honours as well. But reports are coming out the other week, you know, reports are coming out from Spain saying that reportedly he is considering, you know, leaving Real Madrid this summer. Is Rafael Varane, of course. I think he's still got a deal with Real Madrid until 2022, and I think Rafael Varane has expressed quite an interest, you know, from quite a few teams as well. But Manchester United are linked to him, of course, as well. So I don't see, you know, I don't think Real Madrid want to lose him this summer. I don't think Zinedine Zidane is keen on sanctioning him off as well. But I think from his own perspective, he may consider leaving Real Madrid this summer. As I did say, this is his 8th season now at Real Madrid. He actually began his career in France, you know, with Lens, did Rafael Varane, of course, as well. So, and he'd look very, very good in our backline, be a good leader alongside Victor Lindelof in our backline, of course, as well. So we have been linked with a host of defenders, of course, as well. And as I did say, you know, we need a couple of additions in that midfield, as we all know, as well. Now Manchester United probably know that Ander Herrera is probably on his way out of the club in the summer. Obviously, we do know now that Manchester United, we are emphasising some replacements for Ander Herrera, because obviously, reportedly, Ander Herrera was demanding £200,000 a week from Manchester United, as we all know. You know, for him to remain loyal at Manchester United, you know, for him to sign the new contract at Manchester United. But reportedly, Manchester United were not willing to meet his £200,000 a week wage demand. So reportedly, he did say the other week that reportedly he's agreed a deal to join PSG on the free at the end of the season. I think it's a 3-year deal worth around, I think, £150,000 a week or something like that as well. But again, you know, Ander Herrera for me is not a £200,000 a week player. He's been a very, very good servant to Manchester United. Don't get me wrong, you know, this is his 5th season now at the club. I think he's made about 187 appearances, you know, for the club in all competitions. Obviously, Manchester United paid £30 million for him from Atletico Bilbao, you know, back in 2014, of course. So this is now his 5th season at Manchester United. And, you know, he has had rough patches, you know, during his tenure as a Manchester United player. But since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, overall, mainly, his performances have really, really improved. He's tenacious. He breaks up the play very, very well. He's got a lot of tenacity about his play. And he has really been fitting in that midfield trio very, very well. We know recently, you know, he hasn't been participating, you know, due to injury and all that as well. So we are probably going to miss Ander Herrera. But we do know that these better players out there than Ander Herrera, of course, as well. So potentially, I think he's probably going to PSG on a 3 in the summer. But we've emphasised, you know, quite a few replacements, you know, who could, you know, potentially, you know, replace Ander Herrera. And, you know, he's 29 now, he's Ander Herrera. But there has been talks of Idrissa Gueye. And Manchester United have reportedly identified Idrissa Gueye as a possible replacement for Ander Herrera. And Idrissa Gueye is actually the same age as Ander Herrera, because Ander Herrera is 29, Idrissa Gueye is 29. Of course, you know, if you compare them both, you know, to quite honestly, Ander Herrera has had a better career, you know, than Idrissa Gueye. But Idrissa Gueye is an Everton player, as we all know. And reports do say that reportedly he could be available for a reasonable figure this summer, Idrissa Gueye. And reportedly he could be available for around £30 million or just under, reportedly, as well. And Idrissa Gueye is a defensive midfielder. Of course, we need a defensive midfield, you know, that's fast and tenacious. And Idrissa Gueye, you know, I've watched some of his performances for Everton, and he looks a really, really good player indeed. I think now this is his 3rd season with Everton. I think all in all he's made about 128 appearances in the Premier League. Obviously, this was including his time he had with Aston Villa. I think he only spent 1 season with Aston Villa. Obviously, the majority of his appearances have obviously, you know, become as an Everton player. Obviously, Everton, I think, got him from Aston Villa back in 2016. Everton triggered a release clause in Idrissa Gueye's contract of around just over £7 million. Initially, he signed a 4-year deal, but based on his fantastic performances with Everton, he got his contract renewed in February of last year. So he's now under contract with Everton until 2022. As Idrissa Gueye as well. Of course, he's well Premier League proven, but I think he tackles very well, very, very well. He intercepts very, very well. He breaks up the play very, very well. Does Idrissa Gueye. So potentially, do you think he'd be a good addition for Manchester United? And do you think he'd blend very, very well in our midfield? You if he was to possibly come to Manchester United this summer as a replacement for Ander Herrera. Obviously, PSG obviously inquired about getting him in January. Obviously, PSG, of course, and I think had a one bid, or was it two bids, turned down from Everton, of course, because I think Everton were demanding that they wanted around £40 million for Idrissa Gueye in January, of course, as well. I think Solskjaer's an admirer of Idrissa Gueye, but reportedly we've identified him as a possible replacement for Ander Herrera, of course, as well. But Idrissa Gueye is well Premier League proven. I think this is now his third season at Everton. He's a former Villa player. When he was younger, he obviously, played at Lille, of course, as well. But he's now 29, he's Idrissa Gueye. He's obviously, a Senegal international, of course, as well. So there has been a lot of talks going on about him. Possibly Saul Niguez, could possibly, replace Ander Herrera as well. And to be fair, there has been a lot of talks, going on about Saul Niguez. Obviously, he's Spanish. He's only 24 years of age, is Saul Niguez. But again, he's going to cost us, quite a bit of money, because he's got a release clause in his deal with Atletico Madrid of around £128 million. As Saul Niguez, again, he's versatile, so that could be beneficial, for Manchester United, because he can play as a defensive mid, he can play as a central mid, he can also play it on the right, can Saul Niguez as well. And he's attracting interest, from quite a few teams. Is Saul Niguez. It said Man United have been interested, City have been interested, Barcelona have also been interested as well. I think he has spent the majority of his career, with Atletico Madrid, of course. He graduated from their youth system. He's gone to make over 200 odd appearances, for Atletico Madrid, and I think he does feel unhappy, in Spain with Atletico Madrid. And I think Atletico Madrid are prepared to offer him a new contract term, of course, but recent reports indicated out the other day that reportedly he wants a Premier League move, the Saul Niguez, of course, as well. So he's still got a lot of years ahead of him. He's only 24 years of age, of course, as well. And we do know that obviously, there's been a lot of talks about Declan Rice going on as well. And as I did say, he's available for a reasonable figure as well. He's mainly a holding midfielder. He can also operate as centre-back as well. Declan Rice is one of England's youngest upcoming talents as well. He's only 20 years of age, as we all know. But I think he did say Man United are prepared to spend up to £50 million, for Declan Rice. I think that's what West Ham, would demand, if they were to sanction him off this summer. Declan Rice is 20 years of age. Of course, he signed a new deal back in December last year with West Ham until 2024, but he's growing and he's developing and he's flourishing, fantastically well under Manuel Pellegrini. He's Declan Rice, as we all know as well. So he's been a potential Manchester United target. I think he's one of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's prime targets as well. I think he broke into the West Ham senior squad a couple of years ago as well. The Declan Rice. He's been in the senior squad a couple of years. Obviously, initially began his youth career with Chelsea. The Declan Rice joined at the age of 7. He was there a number of years. To be quite fair, he got axed off at 14, of course, and then initially he joined the West Ham Youth Academy, but now he's been in the senior squad quite a few years with West Ham as well. So I do think he'd be a great addition, if he came to Manchester United. Reportedly, he's had a good season, with West Ham this season as well. I think he's made about 56 senior appearances for West Ham, so potentially Manchester United have also showed an interest in Declan Rice, of course, as well. So potentially, there has been a lot of talks about him. Potentially, though, as we all know, the club's number one priority target, is obviously, Jadon Sancho, as we all know as well. And we do need someone, that can link up with the likes of Rashford and Martial in our front line, of course, as well. And we do know Jadon Sancho, if he is for sale this summer, he's going to cost us in the region of around £100 million, of course, as well. And he's a really, really good player with Jadon Sancho. He's got immense talent, of course. He's still very, very young. He's just recently, turned 19 years of age, of course, as Jadon Sancho. And I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, has obviously identified the position where he thinks we need to strengthen up. But his priority, of course, is to get a right winner in, of course. And I think Jadon Sancho, would be the right candidate, of course. He's going to cost us quite a bit of money, of course. We need someone that can play between the bylines, put crosses into the box. And Jadon Sancho is very, very capable of this. He's got a contract with Dortmund until 2022, of course. Borussia Dortmund only paid about £7 or £8 million for Manchester City a couple of years ago as well. So potentially he's had experience of playing in the Premier League, of course, because obviously, he used to play for Manchester City. I don't think he ever broke into the first team with Man City, or he was never guaranteed, to play regularly with Manchester City in the first team. This is the reason why he departed Man City and, of course, went to Borussia Dortmund, of course. And as I did say, Borussia Dortmund have been known for doing business with their players, as I currently said, but we do know that Jadon Sancho is not going to come cheap. And if we were to come to an agreement to get him in the summer. Probably, it would make him the most expensive English footballer ever at the moment. I think the most expensive English footballer is obviously, Kyle Walker, who obviously, Manchester City got, who Man City got, I think, was it a year or two ago? I think Manchester City paid around £50 million, but there was add-ons included, so it'd risen it up to about £53 million or something like that as well. So potentially, if we could get Jadon Sancho in the summer, it would make him the most expensive English footballer. Maybe Manchester United still believe we can maybe get Sancho for maybe £70-80 million or something like that. But potentially, if Borussia Dortmund do decide to, if they do put a price tag on, and they probably want around £100 million for Sancho. And he's only 19. He only broke into the England first team last year, of course, as well. But his performances have been really, really good for Borussia Dortmund. He's got the ability to attack. He can score goals. He can also provide as well. So yeah, I think he'd be the right man. If he came to Manchester United. Of course, I do think he still remains the club's number one priority target. Obviously, we do know there's been a lot of talks about Aaron Wan-Bissaka, of course, as well. He's available for a reasonable figure. He did say the other week that Man United are prepared to put a bid in of around £35 million, for Aaron Wan-Bissaka, of course, as well. Because essentially, we do need someone young and ambitious on that right. We do need a potential right back, of course. And, I think Aaron Wan-Bissaka, his defensive capabilities are supposed to be very, very good. And since he's broken into the first team with Crystal Palace, reportedly his performances have been very, very good. Obviously, he only broke into the Crystal Palace first team last year, back in February, did Aaron Wan-Bissaka. And I think he's made just under 40 senior appearances, for Crystal Palace. But I think he's initially, valued around £40 million. But for me, he'd be a perfect successor to Valencia and an upgrade as well to Ashley Young, of course, as well. But as we all do currently know, players are going to leave Manchester United this summer, as we all know, as well. As I did say, it's looking likely, Valencia's on his way out of the club this summer, as we all know. Valencia, to be quite honest with you, he's been a good servant over the years for the club. This is his 10th season out at Manchester United, of course. He's made over 300 odd appearances in all competitions at the moment. Of course, he's out with calf injuries, Antonio Valencia. He hasn't really, featured this season. He's had quite a few injuries, of course, as Antonio Valencia. Obviously, the club opted against the decision, to trigger his 1 year extension, so it's likely Valencia is on his way out this summer. Ashley Young, definitely, needs to leave Manchester United, of course, as well, because Ashley Young has been very, very poor, over the years, he's been a very, very good servant to Manchester United. He's been here about 8 seasons now, but we do know now he is poor now. He's Ashley Young. He's been here a number of years. He is poor now. He gets exploited far too easily, of course. We still know he's our first choice right back, but he gets exploited far too easily. He loses possession far too easily. And Ashley Young now is 33 years of age, of course. And we know not too long ago, Manchester United give him a new 1 year extension. I don't know why we give him that new 1 year extension, but by the time his new one year extension expires, obviously Ashley Young, will be nearly 35 years of age. And over the years, he has been a good servant to the club. Obviously, we got him from Aston Villa, was it, back in 2011. And back in the day, Ashley Young, was a really, really good winner, to be quite honest with you. But potentially now, he has passed it. And now and again, we have rotated him, and played him at left back, Ashley Young. But he's got to leave Manchester United this summer because he's the problem, as we all know as well. Rojo definitely on his way out of the club in the summer, I would imagine, because his career's been affected, the amount of injuries he's suffered as a Manchester United player. So I think Rojo's on his way out. I think Eric Bailly could be on his way out as well, if a new centre-back comes in this summer, because obviously Eric Bailly has been in and out of the team this season for Manchester United. This is his 3rd season out at Manchester United. Overall, I've been impressed with his performances, over the years he's been here. This is now his 3rd season at Manchester United. Of course, it was one of Jose Mourinho's first signings, of course, as well, when Jose Mourinho was here. I think we paid about £30 million to him from Villarreal back in 2016 as well, Eric Bailly. But obviously, he's been in and out of the team this season. As I did say, Solskjaer's paired the likes of Smalling and Jones ahead of Eric Bailly, of course, as well. So he could be on his way out in the summer. Got Matteo Darmian. I think he's enjoyed a very, very difficult time at Manchester United. I also think, he could be on his way out in the summer as well. And, I also think definitely, Sanchez is going to leave Manchester United this summer as well, because Sanchez has enjoyed a very, very difficult time as a Manchester United player, as we all know as well. He's been here about 15, 16 months now, is it, or something like that. He has sustained, quite a few injuries. I think now he is injury-free as Alexis Sanchez, but, when he has played and when he's been given the opportunity, he just looks so restricted. It just looks as though he hasn't been getting the freedom around. It just hasn't fitted under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's system, Alexis Sanchez. We know mainly he isn't first choice. We know mainly Martial is his first choice ahead of him. But when Sanchez has been given the opportunity, he's just been very, very inconsistent indeed. And as I did say, he's obviously the highest paid player. He's our highest paid player. He's obviously the highest paid player in the Premier League. And as I did currently what his substantial wages is on, obviously it's going to be hard to find a buy for him in the summer. Maybe we may loan him out. Maybe Sanchez is willing to take some kind of wage cut. I do not know. But potentially considering his wages, it's totally affecting our wage structure in a bad way, as I do keep saying, because now we've got quite a few players, that are demanding, quite a bit more money, of course, as well. Unless Sanchez, now he has recovered from injury, and when he does get the chance, unless he proves himself, and then, I'll probably, change my scenario on the whole thing, to be quite honest with you. But he has been very, very inconsistent for Manchester United, and he is now age 30. He has lost that yard of pace, of course, he's well Premier League proven, because he proved himself fantastically well with Arsenal. He did well with Arsenal, but he just hasn't proven himself as a Manchester United player, as we all know, as well. And I think Lukaku could be possibly on his way out this summer as well. I think his goal scoring form's good, Romelu Lukaku's, and he's got a great pedigree in the Premier League, of course. He does seem to perform better, and he does seem to look more effective, when someone is playing alongside him, of course, Lukaku. But he does seem to bottle it against the big games as Lukaku. His first touch concerns me. He doesn't really get enough of them runs in behind. So we paid about £75 million to him a couple of years ago from Everton, of course, as well. So maybe some Man United fans are saying, well, we should, let him go in the summer as well. And I also think Juan Mata is also on his way, possibly on his way out Manchester United this summer. So Manchester United are expected, to orchestrate a big summer clear out. Of course, we know what's happening with Paul Pogba at the moment. Obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, of course, spoke to Paul Pogba, as we all know, as well. And potentially, as we all know, guys, he has been heavily linked to a move to Real Madrid. Recent reports did indicate out that Manchester United were set to begin contract negotiations with Paul Pogba. But potentially, if he did say if Paul Pogba was to remain loyal to Manchester United, and if he was to sign a new contract at Manchester United, reportedly he was demanding an astronomical salary of around £500,000 a week, if he was to sign a new contract with Manchester United. And a couple of weeks ago, reports were coming out from Spain saying that reportedly he's made a decision over his Manchester United future. And reportedly, he's been speaking a lot about Real Madrid. So he's been speaking a lot about Real Madrid, so potentially, that could have a concerns for Man United. It could also have concerns for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, of course, as well. But according to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said he's happy at Manchester United, and Solskjaer probably feels as though, he still has a big future at Manchester United. And let's be honest, Paul Pogba, of course, has been one of our most influential players, as we all know, since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's come in, of course, as well. And I think, he's built a great relationship up, with Paul Pogba as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, of course, because obviously, when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer managed the Manchester United reserve team, of course, at this team, at this day and age, you watch some of them grow and develop, and obviously, one of them was Paul Pogba. But recent reports have basically said, Paul Pogba's relationship with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is reportedly slowly fading, and I think Paul Pogba is intended on making the move to Madrid this summer. Obviously, Zinedine Zidane is a big admirer of the player, as we all know, and Zinedine Zidane, of course, is emphasising his targets. But, as I did currently say, his agent Raiola, Paul Pogba's agent Raiola, of course, has been in quite a few discussions with Real Madrid about a summer move. He's also been to Manchester, to negotiate a summer move for Paul Pogba, of course. He's still under contract with Man United till 2021, so he's still got over 2 years left on his deal. There is an option of a further year as well. And his current deal at the moment, Pogba, is on £300,000 a week, so he's demanding £200,000 extra if he's to commit his long-term future in Manchester United. There's also been rumours that he could make a return back to Juventus. We heard the rumours about that last year, of course, when Mourinho was in charge, because obviously, he did have 4 good years, with Juventus, did Paul Pogba, and obviously Paul Pogba had a bad relationship with Jose Mourinho, of course, as well. And Manchester United, obviously, paid £89 million for him back in 2016, of course, so he's heading into his 4th season now as a United player, and of course, he's our most expensive signing, of course, as well. And we've got De Gea, we haven't come to an agreement, to get De Gea a new contract yet as well. And I think De Gea is demanding that he wants around £350,000 a week, if he's to commit his long-term future in Manchester United. Reports at the moment saying that Man United are not willing to meet his £350,000 a week wage demands. Obviously, at the moment, he's on £200,000 a week, is De Gea, so potentially he wants a £150,000 pay rise if he's to commit his long-term future in Manchester United. This is De Gea's 8th season at Manchester United, of course. He's been a great service servant to the club as David De Gea, of course, and hopefully somewhere along the line, we can come to an agreement to get him a new contract, of course. And obviously, last year, Manchester United activated a 12-month extension, so he is still under contract here until the summer of 2020, is De Gea. So potentially, if we can't come to an agreement to get him a new contract, we may have to, consider selling him off this summer, so we can cash in for him this summer rather than letting go on the free in the summer of 2020. Obviously, Real Madrid have been long admirers of De Gea, of course. Real Madrid were on the brink of getting him in 2015 because De Gea, is obviously, born and bred in Spain. His family's in in Spain, his relatives in Spain. His girlfriend and that is in Spain, of course. Well, because that's where initially, began his career, David De Gea. But I still think now, he's happy as a Manchester United. I think he's happy at Manchester United, of course. But I think he's just demanding. He wants £350,000 a week, so he wants to be the highest paid player alongside Alexis Sanchez at the club. Recent reports have basically said, that also PSG have reportedly, showed an interest in David De Gea as well. But I think we've emphasised, quite a few targets, if De Gea, is to leave Manchester United this summer. But I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's priority, is to keep De Gea and to keep Paul Pogba, of course, as well, Manchester United, as we all know, as well. So yes, we are going to see, quite a few players, leave United this summer. And as I did say, we've got to get back to winning ways against West Ham, of course, as well. We've got to get back to winning ways against West Ham. We do know, obviously, we've lost two of our last 3 league games. We've lost 4 of our last 5 in all competitions, of course. As I already confirmed to you, we do know that, obviously, Ashley Young's suspended, so that's positive news, of course. Obviously, Luke Shaw's suspended for the next 2 league games, as we all know. He's also suspended for the Barcelona game in the second leg, of course. He's suspended for the next 2 league games, including today's. Obviously, because he got his 10th buckle of offence, did Luke Shaw. So, potentially rotate it, then full-back positions, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, he'll probably put, Diego Dalot at right-back, of course, and he'll probably put Darmian or Rojo at left-back, of course, because he has confirmed his press conference, obviously, yesterday morning. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, did confirm, that Darmian probably will be available. He said Rojo will be available as well. I don't think Rojo has played under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, from the start yet, Marcus Rojo, of course. Well, just not too long ago, recovered from long-term absence as well. So maybe Rojo may be given the opportunity, but I think Darmian's obviously sustained a knock. He's been injured for quite a while, but I think he could be available as well. We know Valencia's still out with a calf injury. Bay's still got a concussion. Solskjaer did confirm that Herrera's still out, of course. Matic, of course, is still a doubt, obviously, because he's got some kind of illness, as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was explaining. Maybe Sanchez could be involved in the game tonight as well, against West Ham, of course, as well. Sanchez just recently, had a knee injury, of course, as well. I think Solskjaer did confirm he has been trained, as we all know. I think he's trained 2 or 3 times as Alexis Sanchez, but Solskjaer still doesn't know if he's going to be 100%, to play in the West Ham game, of course, as well. So there has been still talks, but he's injury-free now, is Alexis Sanchez. That's one thing, we do know, because obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer had give us an update on that. So yeah, the midfield 3, will be obviously, Pogba, Fred and McTominay, of course, and Pogba, McTominay and Fred, deserve another chance, based on their performance, back on Wednesday night against Barcelona. Fred and McTominay, inexperienced, especially at Champions League level, of course. And, Fred, for me, I still don't know if he's a long-term solution for Manchester United. He's been here since last summer, when we paid about £50 million for him, from Shakhtar Donetsk, of course. But he put a really, really good performance in against Barcelona, on Wednesday night. So he does deserve another chance, and probably is more mobile and better on the ball, than Nemanja Matic, to be quite honest with you. Obviously younger than Nemanja Matic is Fred, and, McTominay, he's going and developing, fantastically well in the Manchester United team as well. And his performances have been very, very impressive in the last couple of weeks as well. So it will be midfield 3 of Fred, McTominay and Pogba. And the front 3, will be likely, Martial, Lukaku and Lingard, of course. And obviously defensively, it will be Dalot, Lindelof, Smalling and probably Rojo or Darmian at left-back, of course, as well. So he'll make at least 2 changes with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, of course, as well. But West Ham themselves have got about, I think they could have up to 6 first-team players out, of course, as well. So West Ham have got some injury concerns. Obviously, West Ham are fighting, to get in the top half of the table, because I think they're sitting 11th in the league at the moment, of course, West Ham. They had a good summer window last last summer. You know, the West Ham, you know, they invested well. You know, they got about 10 new additions in, of course, and as well. So I think Manchester United will win, and we've got to get back to winning ways. And I think now we've got 6 games left. We've got to win at least 5 of our remaining 6 games. You know, if you've got any chances, you know, of getting the top 4, of course, and we do want that Champions League for next season. So obviously, you know, so in that aspect, you know, it can make us have a more competitive summer window. But I think we're going to get around £258 million spending summer. That's probably what it will cost for about at least, you know, 5 new additions, you know, to come in to Manchester United as well. So yeah, Bruno Fernandes. There has been a lot of talks about Bruno Fernandes, and Bruno Fernandes, I don't really know much about him, to be quite honest with you. I know he's got a release clause of around £90 million in his deal with Sporting Lisbon. He's 24. He's Portuguese, as we all know. I do know little bits about João Felix. He's also Portuguese. He's only 19 years of age, of course, as well. I think he can play as a winner. I think he can play as a forward as well, can João Felix, if I'm right, as well. So there's also been talks about him as well. I'm also, I like Ivan Lozano as well, and he's available for a reasonable figure. I think he's got a release clause of around £30 million, you know, as Ivan Lozano, and I think Man United have been scouting for quite a few years. Manchester United have been long admirers of the player. Obviously, his agent is Raiola, of course. I think Man United have had negotiations with his agent Raiola over a possible summer move to Manchester United, and I think Ivan Lozano is keen to make the move to Manchester United this summer. He's been very, very good for PSV this season. He had a good World Cup last summer with Mexico. Only 23 years of age, of course, and you know, he can actually play as a winger. He can also play as a forward as well. You know, can Ivan Lozano. So there's also been talks about him as well. You know, Ivan Lozano as well. So potentially, guys, anyway, that's everything to update you with today. Of course, as well, we'll be back we'll be back in the morning, you know, with some more live videos. Obviously, after the West Ham game, you know, we will be on, you know, for the full-time reaction as always as well. I also think, as I did say, Rashford will be rested tomorrow because he didn't look fully fit against West Ham. Against Barcelona on Wednesday night. Of course, as well. And he's sustained quite a few injuries in the last couple of weeks, and I think it's given an effect on his game. You know, to be quite honest with you, because we do know that Rashford, you know, is nowhere near on the same levels as Mbappe, of course, and it will probably take him a couple of years at least, you know, to emulate that level of Kylian Mbappe's, but he's still very, very young. He's 21. He's still got a lot of years ahead of him. We know mainly he's like lightning. He can get them runs in behind, you know, Marcus Rashford, but most recently, you know, he hasn't been playing to his potential best, and he didn't look fully fit Wednesday night, so I think he's going to be rested for tonight's game against West Ham, of course, as well. So anyway, guys, you know, drop your comments, like, support on the channel, as I said. If you do consider subscribing, as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon. Thanks for watching, guys.